Kamala Harris and Mike Pence couldn't necessarily agree on a lot at the debate last night, but they did both seem to agree on one thing, and that is that fracking needs to go, and it certainly doesn't need to be banned. Here is Kamala Harris repeating that about Joe Biden.
Well, I will repeat, and the American people know that Joe Biden will not ban fracking. That is a fact. That is a fact.
Okay, Yasmin, so she wants to assure us he's not gonna ban fracking. Obviously, Donald Trump and Mike Pence aren't gonna ban fracking. So it looks like, unfortunately, two candidates, one position.
Yeah, I live in Texas, as we've discussed, and fracking is something that I think about quite a lot. And it's actually a really big part of this November election, especially for Texans, whether or not they realize it or not. There's a position in the Texas state government called the Texas Railroad Commissioner. It has nothing to do with railroads, it's all about energy. And this person is one of the most, if not the most highest ranking energy official in Texas. Why does that matter? Because Texas is the reason why the United States is now energy independent, or one of the reasons. And a big part of that is fracking. So whatever Texas decides going forward as far as this issue is concerned will have national implications as well as implications regarding our foreign affairs, right? So there's a lot of debate around it. I don't know if people really understand it. So just very, very quickly, I'm not gonna do like a whole quick chat on you right now, but there are some things that I wanna get out there. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she said fracking is bad, right? It is. Fracking is horrible for the environment. It's really, really bad. So I don't know if you guys know even what fracking is, but basically there's rock underground. It's like this shale rock, and then you drill into it horizontally, and then you kind of explode it, so it becomes like this. And then you can extract all the natural gas that lives in between those cracks, right? The problem with this is the chemicals that they need to extract those gases are highly toxic, like they're carcinogenic, they're radioactive, some of them, and they pollute the water that's used in the fracking. So it's not like you can recycle the water. They're polluted, it pollutes the water so badly that you can't even get rid of the chemicals in a chemical treatment plant, right? So that's part of it. So people argue that natural gas is better for the environment than oil is, but whenever you consider the environmental impact of extracting the fracked natural gas, that's where it kind of balances out. So either way, it's really, really bad for the environment and for people's health, right? Like, I live in Houston, Texas. There are refineries, there are gas flares. These are regular things that we're used to seeing. And a big part of the problem with fracking is that it encroaches on private property, right? And there's not a lot of regulation in this industry. So literally down this street from where I'm sitting right now, over there was like a huge fireball in somebody's house, and it's from natural gas flaring, and it's getting so close to these neighborhoods. This is a brand new neighborhood that I'm in right now. Wow. It's insane. It's literally like around the corner, John. So there's a lot of bad about it. The reason why I think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are not pro just banning fracking altogether is because of some of the more conservative arguments for it. But I think that they do have a little bit of merit, right? So like I said, the United States is energy independent because of fracking and because we've been able to do offshore drilling and things like that. So our dependence on foreign oil is nil, next to nothing, which is great because as I think is well-known information at this point, the reason why the Middle East is so screwed up is because we did it, us and a few other major players, and all of it, whatever nuances over there, it all comes back to oil, right? That's why we're there, that's why we're still there, that's why we won't leave, right? And now it's incredibly unstable. So that's one pro of fracking. So I think that there is a decent case to be made to be anti-fracking, but maybe pro-fracking for now as a means of sustaining our energy independence as we transition to a Green New Deal, or at least just better regulations of this industry. There aren't really a whole lot right now. More sustainable energy sources definitely needs to be in the future. There's no question about that, but I think that's maybe would help explain why they will keep fracking. Does that help?
Yeah, look, that's a great explainer. I appreciate you doing that. Sometimes when talking about things like this, I sort of just assume that we've talked about it so many times that I don't need to explain it, but you're 100% right. Every day new people start paying attention to this sort of thing, so I appreciate you doing that. It was a great explanation. I think the issue is that while I agree that that is the way fracking is talked about as a transition fuel, that is, look, if you're generating your power off of natural gas as opposed to coal, that is technically cleaner, although not as clean as they often talk about. Something like 3.5% of all of it is released into the atmosphere, and it is just devastating. But the issue is that I have noticed a lack over the past decade and a half when we've transitioned to having so much natural gas. It doesn't really feel like a lot of the senators and reps who are pushing it are now like, okay, good, now let's get to transitioning away from even that. They seem to have mostly just sat down on the natural gas and said, this is cool. But I agree, hypothetically, it could go in that direction. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.